So this is what I woke up to this morning. Followed by the police knocking on my door, trying to move cars so they could do this. Hi everyone, this is Deanna, the Organized Miss. If you hear that noise in the background, just ignore it. That's what I always do. I am doing a flip through of my little Patriotic junk journal that was made from a 6x9 manila envelope. This is the first time that I have ever attempted this style, so I was pretty excited to see what I would learn in this process, and I have learned a bit. I've learned I might try it again. I will change some things, but the first thing I learned was this kind of closure is maybe not my favorite. I do like it. I thought it was so cute. This was a button off of a uniform, and I believe it's an Army uniform button. I'll show you how I did that. So what I've done here is I've just covered the envelope with some different kind of papers that I had here at the house. This I've had these for years. I'm just like, I need to use some of this. I was challenged through the Junk Journal Junkies Patriotic challenge. It's to use vintage patriotic elements and images. So that's what I've done. I tried to use what I had with the theme, and then I obviously had to find some free images and some things I purchased to include them in here. So the first thing is that the rules of what this book needs to have in it. That's important. The base is a 6x9 envelope folded in half so that the journal would measure 4.5 by 6, and we're only to include one signature, and then it needs to be sewed in. So I've done that here, and I used some baker's twine. A minimum of 10 pages, a maximum of 15, and you can add envelopes and other decorative papers, but at least 5 of them need to be sort of July 4th or patriotic themed or vintage, and the signature must be sewn in. So, and then they give us some ideas of things to add. Images, we need at least 8 different kinds of images, so this would be one. Tags, any that we made or bought, either decorated or stamped or something. Obviously need to consider the theme, and at least 4 tuck spots, a book page, music sheet, notes, whatever, and at least 3 journaling cards, any kind of vintage tickets, ephemera, anything that we'd like to include in this. So like I said, I went through my stash, and what I didn't have, I went to the one of my favorite little vintage thrift stores, junk stores is what she calls it, and online. So I just have this ribbon to wrap it around to be the closure. I found this button at one of my favorite little stores, so I thought that would be great, and I just included this closure. It's for a bracelet, but I thought that would help it, because sometimes this likes to pop through the hole. That keeps it from falling through. And then I did cover the envelope in paper, and I used this kind of dark blue paper. And then I have on the back, I have some tissue paper because it had the stars. I thought that was really pretty. I then went ahead and I trimmed the edge so that this could be another pocket to include things in here. And then I've left the back open. I'll show you when we get there. I have some goodies in there. So at the beginning, I have a lot of envelopes that I've been trying to think of things to do with it. So definitely this junk journal got an envelope as a tuck spot, and then I included a journaling card here in the back. Just try to include a lot of little places for her to write, whoever gets this. And then I spent the day doing some little stamps. I found a lot of stamps online that were patriotic themed, and so I cut those out with my Cricut, and some of them I turned into stickers and some just little embellishments here. And this little tuck spot this is a piece of vintage ephemera that that I found when I was out specifically looking for things for this, and it talks about the first U.S. post office and who the first postmistress was. I don't know if you can see that. Was Effingham Lawrence's wife. That she was the first postmistress, and so that tells a little bit. Anne Townsend Lawrence. So it tells a little bit about that there. So I just want to include that in there. I think it was so fun because I did include a lot of patriotic elements. Definitely my theme was about the flag. So this came from a Sears and Roebuck catalog book that I have, and I had a lot of fun experimenting, which I always try to do something different with each book. And I photocopied this paper onto some, it was the back of that fabric that you can print on and turn into images, and you peel the fabric off once you print it on it, and then this was the backing. So I just tried it and I liked it, and I did some more tissue paper on the back here, Mod Podge, try to give it the antique look, vintage, and then obviously some more journaling spots and tags or little stamps in various places. I did leave some room to actually journal on pages in a couple of spots. This is one of those little vellum bags, another journaling card. So it was, I shot my stash. I looked for anything that I had patriotic themed 4th of July that would go, that looked like it would go with this. So, and then I did some stamping here, another one of those stamps, some more just journaling spaces, and it's just a little spot to write. No, didn't do anything fancy with it, but I did take this girl image. I cut her out on my die cut machine, but then I also created some digital paper with her. Thought that was kind of fun, and did some stamping on there. So several of these just different vintage postcards. Clearly I did not have too many of these. These I purchased, or I found free ones online. The ones I purchased, I do have a couple of those. Some music. I just really like this color. I just really thought it looked well with it. So I did leave some spaces. Here's a piece of advertisement that talked about how women felt it was patriotic to use it up, especially, you know, the history of the Boston Tea Party, and how our early founders didn't want to use anything that came from old England. So I just included this there. It was fun. And another piece of vintage ephemera that talks a little bit about the boycott of English goods. So I thought that was kind of fitting. A little history again. I included that there. And then I made my own kind of a tea bag out of this paper, and I put some more stamps in there. Again, I thought it was in boycott of the tax, the stamp tax, and the all kinds of taxes that England was doing. So just fun. I like to include a little history in there. Again, some more journaling spot, some more digital paper, some images that I found online, and turned this one into a tag. I like this image, so it's an old flashcard. And then I also made a journaling spot. So another just fun little coffee dyed paper. And just a tuck spot. Just thought I'd try that. Another little journaling spot. And this is a little tuck spot. I just tucked that little stamp in there. So you can leave it there or use it on some other project. Just kind of fun. And then this was a book that I had found at my little store, and it's a history book, a school book, I think probably from the 50s, and it told the story, just a brief story about the Star Spangled Banner. So I added some stars on it in the computer, obviously, and I wanted that for the center. So then you can see that I bound it here with the baker's twine, and so because the story was here, I wanted the strings on the outside. So that's why they're there and not on the inside. Another little journaling card, tuck spot, and another one. Now, of course, places to actually also journal on the book if they chose, or paper, back side of that paper. And then instead of turning this into a tag, I made it a Just a fun flashcard journal card. Now this is an envelope that I've sewn on. So then it's just paper clipped on like this, and it is an envelope. I just used some of this little fabric that I have. Thought that would be kind of fun, and I lined it with some sheet music. And can you hear that? There's also some fun paper in there, and a little spot for a journaling card. So I thought that was kind of fun. Another vintage image. I just printed it onto the paper. It's for a journaling spot, and I did kind of I left some plain and some coffee dyed. I like the mixture of that look. Some more music. And just a doily. Use some ink on. Another little tuck spot. And the back side of that little bag again. Another little journal card in there. And the last little tuck pocket journal card. And then I've just included some extra little things while I was putting this together. So I have the stamp, the little girl, and I use the King of Spades. How fitting. Boycotting the king and his taxation. So I just included those there, and then also the pocket, and I put a few more journal cards in here. So I was really excited. Like I said, I learned a few things. I learned I might change the way I go about closing these, but I don't hate it. I like it. It was a fun little element to add. Glad I stepped out of my comfort zone to try this, and I will probably have some more of these in my future. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.